Hello, my loves, and welcome back to an episode on embracing power and potential. I hope you have all had a fabulous week. I know that I have. Actually, my week's been pretty cruisy. It's not too much to update. I've just sort of been working, grinding on my new manifestation program that I will be launching towards the end of the year, start of 2026. So this will be my first signature program as a coach instead of just one-to-one clients. And this is all around identity transformation to actually create results with manifestation. So definitely look out for that. I am very excited and just been working so much on that, having late nights because I've just been in the zone and the creativity has been flowing. So yeah, that's my little update for the week. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome, listeners, to Embracing Power and Potential, your go-to podcast where we travel through the realms of personal growth, mindset mastery, and fear-conquering strategies to help achieve your greatest desires. I'm your host, Portia, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this transformative experience. If you're ready to unleash your authentic power and elevate your life, you're in the right place. Join me and our special guests as we embark on conversations that will broaden your horizons and enrich your journey. So, sit back and immerse yourself in these unmatched discussions. It's time to expand your mind and your life. So, today's episode is the final episode of the Laws of the Universe series. This will be episode 6 to complete this mini little series we had. If you haven't, definitely go and check out the previous 5 episodes because all these laws go hand in hand, and to understand them all is how you can actually apply them to your life with intention, because these are all happening whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. So use them to your advantage. The 2 laws that we will be finishing with today is the law of rhythm and the law of gender. These are 2 of my favorite principles. I pretty much said that for every single one. But these laws are all about flow and balance and learning to move with, not against, the natural cycles of life and energy. Because when you understand rhythm and gender, this is how you stop fighting with time and rushing through life. You stop forcing outcomes and you start creating from harmony. So if you've ever felt like you're in a bit of a rut, or like your energy, sort of comes in waves, you're motivated for a couple of days and then you drop off, or you've wondered why some seasons feel slower in your life, this episode will bring you peace and clarity, and you'll get an understanding of different seasons of your life. So let's start with the law of rhythm. The overall theme of the law of rhythm is trusting life's natural cycles. Because everything in our experience of life moves in seasons. There's always time for growth, which we're always growing and we are always continuously evolving. But sometimes we do go through periods of rest and solitude, and a time for integration of all the growth and all the knowledge that we have learned, especially if you are on a personal development journey. When you start, you're wanting to get all this knowledge that you can, and it's so overwhelming nearly, because there's just so much that goes into identity work and living life with intention. So sometimes you have to actually take a step back and stop consuming everything and actually integrate what you are learning. Actually move from that place of action instead of just taking in knowledge. And I don't know if you've heard the summer season, but it's like, the quick moving season where you're seeing a lot of action and a lot of results and a lot of things are happening, but you can't always be in your summer season. The winter, the quiet, reflective periods are just as important. And this doesn't necessarily mean like actually in summer or winter, but it's just a way to look at slower times in your life compared to fast-paced times in your life where there are a lot of things that are happening. And sometimes you do just need to slow down and self-reflect on the growth that you have already overcome, how far you have come in your journey, and actually sitting with that instead of looking for the next thing or looking for the next achievement that you can have or the next level of growth that you can reach. Because sometimes it actually gets to the point where it's like unhealthy and you're not actually being present in your life. You're just so wanting to, move forward and keep the motion flowing. But sometimes that can actually be bad for you, because when we try to force momentum, that's when we create resistance. And the more that we control, as we know, the harder it feels. So, for example, in my life, I started this manifestation program that I'm working on now about a year ago. And it was in a time of my life where I was really in a season of movement and I was taking a lot of action. I had launched my podcast, I was launching my one-to-one clients, and there was just a lot of things happening in the business and in the brand. And I've started this manifestation program, but I just sort of left it on the back burner eventually, because then I went into a period of integration and sort of like a rest period, because I did reach a bit of a burnout. So instead of feeling guilty and trying to force it and feeling like I had to finish this program, I just sort of left it, because I trust in divine timing, and I trust that when you have to be in the right energy for things as well. If I'm doing that program and creating it in the energy of burnout, how am I going to expect my clients to get these amazing and extraordinary results and identity transformations if the energy and the vibration that it is created in is lack of energy and burnout? So it just doesn't weigh out. Because remember, everything is energy, and the energy that you put into something always reflects back. So that's just an example for my life, how going through different seasons in life is so important, and not forcing it, but letting the universe take its course and listening to your body. So it just really means to look at surrender. In my case, when I, surrendered to that program and just left it in the back burner for now, that does not mean that you are giving up on something. When you surrender to outcomes or situations, that is you just trusting divine timing and trusting the universe that things always happen when they are meant to. And in my case, it did. Like this program, my intuition, it just sort of came to me while I was back into a momentum season of my life. I was like, fuck, that program, which I already, like, I've always known, it's always been in the back of my mind, but one day it just clicked, and I have really been working on it now, and it's way better than what it would have been if I forced myself to do it when I started it. One important and powerful tool that you can use is detachment. Detachment from outcomes is so powerful because when you let go of the how and when things unfold, that's when you make space for miracles. That's when you let the universe do its thing and intersect when it needs to, and everything conspires in your favor. When you are not in the energy of trying to control everything and I want to, no, release that, detach from the outcome, go on with your life with trust that what is happening for you and in your best interest. And that's when shit just happens. That is when miracles happen. That is when the random opportunity will just come to you. You'll get that message or you'll get that call and things will just fall into place. And it will seem like overnight. Because remember, every low season has purpose. When you are in a rest season, this is not regression. This is not being lazy. This is realignment. This is you resting to have the energy to expand to your next level. So flow with your rhythm, not against it. The more you trust the cycle of your life, the faster you will expand. When you trust that everything genuinely works out in your favor, better than you could ever expected, that's when it will. When you start living in alignment with your rhythm, that's when something shifts and you will feel more balanced, more grounded, and open to miracles happening, open to different changes and redirection because you know it's always working out in your favor. And this leads us to the next universal law. Ever feel like you're meant for more, but something keeps holding you back? Maybe you've read the books, set the goals, but deep down, doubt still creeps in. It's not just about working harder, it's about rewriting your mindset for success. I help ambitious young people break past limiting beliefs, step into their power, and create the life they know they are meant for. If you're ready to stop playing small and start living big, book in your free discovery call with me today. My website will be linked in the show notes, or you can find me in my Instagram bio. Embracing Power and Potential Coaching Services. A vision to empower 10,000 young people to create a life they truly desire. The law of gender, which is all about balancing the energies within us. The overall theme for the law of gender is balancing your masculine and feminine energy. And if you haven't heard of these terms before, if you are on your own personal development journey or, familiar with, all the sort of new earth language, you would have heard your feminine and masculine energy, and we all hold both of them. This law has nothing to do with the actual gender identity, but it has all to do with creation and flow. So masculine energy is structure, it's the action, it's the focus and, direction, strategy. The masculine energy is the doing, the action taking. Whereas the feminine energy is our opposite. This is our intuition, our creativity. This is rest and flow. So the feminine energy is the being. So masculine is the doing, the feminine is the being. And both male and female, we all have both of this inside us. We all have both of these energies. Sometimes one can take over more than the other. So it's about balancing the two and using them and taking advantage of them at certain periods and certain seasons in your life. When we live too much in our masculine, this is when we push, we are striving, we're, controlling situations. And this is when burnout happens. When you embrace your masculine energy too much, when you aren't balancing that with rest, this is when we reach the point of absolute exhaustion. And that's not saying that the feminine energy is lazy. It's definitely not. Actually, if anything, it's the opposite. And this is your power source. This is where your magnetism and creativity are born. But you do need both. You need to balance the both of these energies between you. Firstly, the feminine, to receive, to be open to receiving. And the masculine, to act, to take the inspired action. So the feminine creates the vision, but the masculine builds it. And when I say you have to balance, both of these energies within you, this doesn't mean like literally balancing them 50-50 every day. Like, I'm going to rest for an hour now because I'm going to take action for the next couple of hours. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But some seasons will call for more doing, others for more being. So sometimes you are in a season of your masculine. This is when you are taking a lot more action, when you are feeling that momentum in your life, when you are reaching different outcomes and you are hitting achievements. But then there always comes the paradox. And true harmony comes from honoring both. Letting your masculine protect and support you while your feminine guides you and inspires you. When you are in rest periods, when you are embracing the feminine inside of you, this is just preparation for that next season of expansion, for your next level. And rest, what I say, is productive. When I am resting, it's because I need to. I listen to my body, and this has been a journey for me, especially because I've grown up with conditioning of, being lazy. If you're laying on the couch in the afternoon, you're lazy. Or, I feel like that I always have to do something all the time. And if I'm not doing something, I feel guilty. When resting is doing something, intentional rest is recharging your bodies, because you can't do anything if you're just running on empty all the time. So just a reminder for you today that rest is also important. When these energies are balanced, this is when manifestation becomes effortless, because you stop chasing and you start attracting. So the law of gender reminds us that manifestation isn't about effort, it's about alignment. It's not this push or pause, or it's the dance between both. This is where real creation happens. So if there's anything that you take today, as you move forward, remember that life moves in rhythm. There's flow in the stillness, and there's purpose in the pause. You're never falling behind. You are just moving into a new season. When you honor your cycles and balance your energies, this is when you become magnetic. You're aligned with the natural flow of the universe. You can't get any more aligned than that. So, that is officially a wrap on the Laws of the Universe series. I hope these episodes have helped you see how powerful, how capable, and how connected you really are to yourself and the world around us, to the universe, to the power that you have inside yourself. So, if this episode resonated with you, please share this to your stories on Instagram, tag me, and send this to someone who is learning to trust their own rhythm of life and on their own personal development journey. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Also, if you're new here, please reach out to me in the DMs. I'd love to connect with my audience, and a 5-star rating never goes astray. Love you guys, and I just love growing this community so much. I've actually had so much feedback lately on the podcast. We have hit 500 downloads, very exciting milestone. So love you guys. Keep growing with us, and let's make fucking magic. Love you guys, and we'll speak soon. Bye.